Hello, everybody. sPidA here, the Coming Soon podcast, of course, being joined by Luis Carter. My man, how are you, sir?
I'm doing good, man. Glad you have me here, and let's get it on and get some good conversation.
No, for sure, man. I mean, we were talking a little bit earlier, man, and I was saying how we've been networking for quite a bit, man. I know you relocated back home. I mean, you were here stationed in Texas, and of course, you're retired military. So thank you for your
Y-
service.
Thank you for the acknowledgement. Yeah, I came back out here in October of 2021. Yeah, so next month will be 2 years that I've been back here, and once I left the military, I kind of had a draw to come back home to see family. It's when you're in the military, you're always away. So I thought it would be good to get back here and see some familiar faces.
No, for sure, man. And of course, I mean, there's a lot that you've done, bro. And I mean, I don't even know where to start, but I guess at the beginning, I mean, you were born in New York, correct?
Yeah, I'm originally from New York. I was born a long time ago. um, And when I was 18, oh man, I dropped my earpiece. When I was 18, I joined the military, and that's kind of like where everything started. I left, this was back in 1996. I left New York, joined the Army, and first duty station was Korea. And that was definitely an interesting uh, thing to experience, especially at 18 years of age. And then I had various duty assignments when I was in the military. Uh, I spent most of my time in Texas. That's kind of like where I grew up, so to speak. Once I left home, I spent most of my adult life in Texas. And then once I got out of the military, I decided to stay because I retired. I didn't want to uproot my kids, and I figured I've been here this long, I might as well stay for a while. But the draw to New York kept calling me, so that's why I came. And then once I came to New York, I I had to hustle, I had to get into a couple of things here and find a job and just start living life differently. The country of Texas was definitely a different vibe than New York City.
No. I mean, I'm sure, man. I've never been to New York. The closest I've been to the as far as the East Coast is Florida, but that's down
Hmm.
south, and even then, I'm sure it's a lot different, man.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean the the scene is different, the people are different, the food is different. You're not gonna get good Texas barbecue up here. So
Man, well, you see, I mean, while being actually being stationed here in Texas, man, you actually ventured into a few things, bro. And I had this photo. I was gonna
Mhm.
post up real quick, but tell us who is this gentleman right here, man? Who is that, bro?
Wow, that is the Great Dane.
There you
That
go.
that guy came about in I want to say 2014. Um, I was a combatives instructor when I was in the army, at least towards the end of my career. I want to say the last 4 years. And once I became a combatives instructor, that kind of put me in the position to do something that I always wanted to do, but didn't know how I was going to get into it. Um, so I started fighting. I started MMA, and I always thought that if I was going to be an instructor, I couldn't uh, show my students that this stuff worked if I didn't actually go out and do it myself.
Right.
So that's when I had my first amateur fight. I think it was August. No, it was April 14th, 2014. That's when I had my first fight. And everything took off from there. Um, Funny story how the nickname came about. Um, the Great Dane is my favorite dog breed. Everyone asks me, "Oh, do you own any?" No, I don't own one. I've always wanted to be a responsible dog owner. If I didn't have the space or the time to to take care of one, I didn't want to get one. So one of these days, the Great Dane will finally have a Great Dane.
There you go.
But I was sitting down with my ex-wife at the time. Well, before that, I was at the gym and I asked everyone, "Hey, I got this fight coming up, and I think I should have a nickname. What should it be?" Well, everyone got after me. They said, "Oh, you don't need a nickname. You earn your nickname. We're supposed to give you your nickname." And I said, "Well, if you guys aren't you're gonna talk trash and not give me a nickname, then I'm just gonna go ahead and nickname myself." So I was sitting down with my ex-wife at the time, and we started kind of going back and forth. I went to different website generators and threw in a couple of things, and I got all kinds of crap back. You know, stupid dog, tough fight guy, like it was all kinds of
Yeah.
crap. And then I said to myself, I was like, I always liked Great Danes, and I thought maybe the Great Dane sounds good. And my ex-wife, she said, "That's it. That's the one you go
Wow.
with." And I said, "You know what? That's what I'm gonna go with." So at my first fight, I was announced as a Great Dane, Lewis Carter, by what's the guy's name? Mike Allen. That was the ring announcer,
Yeah.
Mike Allen, and poof, everything went from there.
Man, well, that's pretty cool, man. Hopefully, one day you will get to own one because I know those dogs get pretty big, bro.
Yeah, I saw one recently, man. A big dog, 150 pounds, and this dog moved me out of its way to get what it wanted.
Oh
So I
yeah.
thought that was pretty cool.
Now you see, and that's one of the things because I mean we have a bully pit here at home, and this
Hmm.
we were hoping he'd be the runt of the litter, man. And dude, this guy's almost as big as his dad, and his dad was a huge freaking horse, you know. But same thing, man. Like he wants if he wants to get through, he'll get through, man. He
Oh
nudges you,
yeah,
he's like
oh
boom,
yeah.
a little shoulder bump, and
Hmm.
keeps going. But yeah, man. But of course, I mean that was one of the ventures that you actually got involved in while being here in Texas, man. Um,
Hmm.
graphic designing. Tell us a little bit about that.
So, I, how can I explain this? I got out of the military and I wanted to go to school, and I wanted to get into web development. So I went to what was it? The Art Institute,
Right.
and the VA was paying for it. But the program that I was in with the VA, they wanted me to get right back into the workforce as soon as possible. So they didn't allow me to go for a 4 year degree. And I said, okay, well, the next one down is a 2 year degree, but they didn't have the web development that I wanted as a 2 year degree. So I settled for graphic design. And in that's where I learned the tools of the trade, a lot of Photoshop, Adobe Illustrator, um, Procreate. But when it comes to college nowadays, you don't necessarily have to sit in class to learn anything. So I sat in a lot of classes and didn't feel as though I learned a lot. I learned most of what I learned from watching videos on YouTube. You know, I have one particular YouTuber. His name is BJ Dell. I learned probably about 90% of my art skills from him,
Oh man.
and as opposed to being in school. That I learned how to use Procreate from him, and he teaches a little bit of color theory, but mostly cartooning, which is what I really like. So
Right.
that's where a lot of my stuff is kind of drawn for cartooning.
Man. Now, and of course, I mean, like I mentioned earlier, we networked quite a bit, man. So of course, I was able to venture into your graphic design. You helped me out along the way, and I
Hmm.
appreciate that. Now, of course, man. I mean, you moved to New York. Retired. You're out there. Living life like you said. I mean, you got to grind. You got to hustle. But
Yeah.
you actually ventured into something like this, bro. This is actually the second film that you jumped on. So tell us, how did this whole acting thing come about, man?
So if I could go back years ago, I always thought that being a bad guy in a movie would be something that I could do. That's why I was always a character whenever I could be one. I was even a drill sergeant in the army, at one point in time, and I played up to it. My soldiers really liked it. Um, but while I've been here, one of my friends that I train with at the gym, he says that, hey, do you want to be in a movie? I said, well, yeah, why not? So he says that a friend of his needs to use the gym to film a fight scene. And I said, okay. So he told me, I think it was on a Sunday. He said, hey, just come back to the gym after you train, and we'll go ahead and get everything started. So I go back to the gym. It was 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and his friend, who's a movie director, independent movie director,
Right.
he comes in with his camera equipment and whatnot, and a couple of other guys, and he's like, are you the guy who's going to be helping us out and everything? I was like, yeah. He's like, oh, great. I'll put you in the movie and you'll have a part. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. So in this particular movie, it's called Hilo 3.
Yeah.
I play an MMA coach. Like, it was so fitting that I was an
Yeah.
MMA coach. And I did a little bit of consulting because the actor who was doing the part, he knew nothing about MMA, didn't know what the heck was going on. So I actually had to show him what the director wanted and needed him to do. And I even made the scene a little bit better because the director didn't know anything about MMA. So we basically put together this fight scene, and it actually comes out pretty good considering the main guy who was acting didn't know what the hell he was doing. And so that movie came out. It it's not a major motion picture, but it's still a movie
No.
all the same. And it did well, I guess. And then the director, he said, I like your look. You seem like you got a presence about you. I have another movie coming up. If you want to be in that one, I would love to have you. And I was like, well, hell, I'd love to be in it.
Nice.
So um, we recently filmed the scene. I play a character by the name of what's this guy's name? You get wrapped up in it, but I play an army sergeant, and I am the friend of one of the characters. And the scene that we're in is this jungle scene, and we're fighting the enemy and all kinds of stuff. The cool thing about it is, and I'm not a movie actor or anything, and nothing big time, but we filmed the scene in the jungle. Of course, we're not in a jungle. We're in like this forest or something, which 10 feet behind us was the road where cars were going. But when I when I watched the trailer, I was like, wow, we're in a jungle. Like, no one would
Nice.
really know what's going on.
Yeah.
So it turned out to be pretty good. I'm looking forward to when we actually screen the movie. It's still in post production. And
Right.
then there's a couple of other movies that the director is looking to do and looking to have me on. So hopefully I can, get my big break in one of these. So we'll see.
Yeah, man. Well, you see, you got to play an MMA coach, which
Yep.
combative instructor. You kind of had a
Hmm.
little experience.
Yep.
You got to play the military. And as far as being in the jungle, I mean, of course, you served outside the country, so you had a little
Hmm.
experience with that.
Yep.
So the next one is the next one going to be like a graphic designer or what? It seems like a battle,
I wish I wouldn't mind playing somebody who, I don't know. I want to be the bad guy. That's what I want. I want the dramatic scene where I got to throw some shit around or beat somebody up, or I'm just angry. Like, I see myself being the bad guy in the movie, just because I'm such a good natured person, or at least that's so I've been told. So
no?
if I play the bad guy, I think to be a lot like what I would want to be, but never really got to be. So we'll see. Acting is fun. You get to be
No,
somebody
yeah.
whom you're not.
No, definitely, man. You see, and then that's one of the things being not a character, because of course, like you said, in the military, you used to, be a character yourself, but I mean, you never really think like, oh man, I want to be an actor. It's just acting different or putting yourself outside the box. But I mean, having done these two films, like you said, they're independent films, but still,
Hmm.
it's experience. And a lot of the great actors start off like that, man. They got to start at the bottom, and work their way up.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I never intended to do anything like this. I mean, it's just like anything else. You want to do something, but it just may not turn out that way.
Yeah.
So it just kind of fell in my lap, so to speak. And I'm thankful for the opportunity. The director, really good guy. His name is Wilfred LaSalle. He runs LaSalle Productions, and if it weren't for him, I wouldn't have had this opportunity. So I'm very grateful, and hopefully, when he sees this, he'll realize, hey, I was grateful for the opportunity. So
No, no,
um,
definitely, man.
he'll
Yeah.
definitely know that.
You see, and one of the things about what you're doing now, a lot of it seems like it's basically just jumping on opportunity. There's something there, like
Mhm.
why not? I mean, why wouldn't you want to try something, right?
Yeah.
Now, as far as New York, man, what's different out there? Of course, you already told us there's no good Texas barbecue, but what's going on out there, man?
Um, well, the weather is definitely different. Um, you guys had a really bad heat wave.
Oh yeah, bro.
However, it gets hot here in New York, but it gets very, very humid. You could stand in the shade and you're still going to be sweating. It
Yeah.
ain't The heat ain't going away here. At least in Texas, you stand under a tree like, good. I can stop sweating. The food is different. You get a lot of I'd say you get real Chinese food here, and I don't think I got a lot of real Chinese food in Texas. But here you get really good Chinese food. Pizza is really good.
Nice.
Um, there's a lot of tourist stuff if you're into the New York thing. New Yorkers aren't tourists, obviously. The biggest thing that I did when I was here, the last time I was here, I took my kids to see the Statue of Liberty. New Yorkers don't go see the Statue of Liberty.
Oh no.
They're like, oh, we drive across the bridge and see it every day. What do we
Yeah.
need to go see it for?
Oh yeah.
Um, tons of things to get into. One of the biggest things is Times Square. People love to see Times Square. You go down to Times Square, and the first time you go, I would definitely recommend going at night because it looks like daytime. It's lit up,
Damn.
glitz and glamour, lights everywhere. Um, you can really, get the feel of New York. There's a lot of TV studios down there. So as you're walking down the street, you can peer into a window and see a TV show being done. I think what is it, Good Day New York or Good Day America
Oh yeah, that's
is
right.
is filmed downtown there. There's the MTV Studios downtown. Um, my daughter was here a month or two ago, and we went to Museum of Natural History. I hadn't been there since I was a kid, so when I took her, it was like going there for the first time again.
Man.
So there's tons of things to do in New York, man.
No, you
Tons of
see it in
things.
New York too. I mean, because here in Texas, I mean, there's a lot of different cultures, a lot of different
Mhm.
because the military, there's a lot of military bases, so we get people from around the world, But New
Yeah.
York, pretty much the same thing. Because I mean, one of the things about people that I've met throughout my life, as far as them coming from Puerto Rico, coming from outside the country, they're always like, "Man, Statue of Liberty, man," because that meant freedom, so everybody went
Mhm.
there,
Yeah.
and so I'm sure it's the same way, man. So there's a lot of different cultures out there.
Yeah. When you come here, expect to see all different types of people, all different races. You'll hear all different languages. I
Oh
mean, if you're going downtown, you're going to hear Chinese, you're going to hear Italian. And there's a lot of tourists when
yeah,
you go into Manhattan. So you're going to see and hear a lot of different things. And it's good to see because it lets you know that it's not just you in the world. You know,
right.
there's tons of different flavors in New York. Whatever it is that you want, it's here.
Nice, bro. Now, do you see? Because even now, I was going to mention this because, of course, you did the whole mixed martial arts thing. You kept in touch. You're still grappling. You're still doing jiu-jitsu, gi, no gi. Um,
Yeah.
I mean, how's that going in New York? I mean, obviously, you found a spot and you're training out there.
Um. Well, I gave up my fight career because I mean, at the end of the day, I'm 45 years old. I can't be fighting with these young guys, man. They're hungry. When I started fighting, I was fighting because it was fun. I really enjoyed it. It was cool to do. I loved going to a fight and taking pictures and signing autographs and that kind of thing. Now that I'm older, I can't be getting punched in the face all the time, by somebody who wants it more than I do.
Yeah.
So that's where I continue to do jujitsu. I found a gym here, Animals MMA. It's here in Yonkers, New York. Whenever I'm not working, whenever I'm not at home, I'm at the gym training. Um, I've gotten into, I, I would like to teach more because that's my forte. I was teaching when I was in the military and when I was back in Texas after I retired. But teaching would be like what I really want to do. So whenever I can, I teach. I'm always giving my input or helping out with the class whenever I can. So I keep up. I always let guys know, don't let the gray beard fool you because I can keep up. I can definitely go. Um, on Thursdays, we have sparring, Muay Thai sparring. So there's times where some of these young guys will come after. I'm like, I don't know if this is what you want, man. You,
No,
you come for me, I'm definitely coming back. And there, I had one time I was sparring and this guy he hit me hard, and I was like, okay, no problem, because you're there to spar. So I kicked him, and when I kicked him, his eyes lit up like, oh shit, I messed up. I kicked him in his leg, and he spun around almost two times, and then it kind of like it calmed down after that.
no, but I mean that's good though, man. Because yeah, I mean, it just reminds me of those of the meme. Everybody uses that. Everybody said, "Let's go light," and then they turn it up.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. It's
But
it's that's how it always ends up, man. You look at each other and you're like, okay, hey, this is gonna be a light round, and then after that, one person hits the other one too hard or kicks the
oh
other one, or
yeah,
the worst is a head kick. You hit somebody in the face, they're like, oh, I'm coming for you now.
yeah, and of course, I mean that's one of the things that has changed throughout the years in MMA. Because for at the beginning, I mean, when I first started training in Valetudo, or freestyle fighting, what we called it back then, it was in 2000. And for us, it was like, I mean, we sparred hard, man. It was just like there was no time where we didn't go home, beat up and bloodied, and just kind of because we thought that's the way you had to go, and it's not like that anymore. People are training safe. Now they're taking it easier because, of course, you don't want to get cut up and injured before a fight, and
Right.
and so it's kind of like, hey, you know what? I mean, take care of me and I'll take care of you, kind of thing.
Hmm. Well, one thing that I've learned as I'll say one of the elder statesmen in the gym is that I want to train tomorrow.
Yeah,
So I'm not here to hurt or get hurt. That's not fun. Same thing when you're grappling. Um, I'm gonna tap. I don't care if you're a white belt. If you tap me, hey, outstanding job. I appreciate it. You let me know that I was messing up somewhere, so I'm gonna tap. Because tomorrow I'm gonna train again.
yeah,
And same thing with the next day. Whereas, oh, I'm gonna let my pride take over, and oh, my arm is snapped, or oh, you choked me asleep, and now what do? I can't train tomorrow. Now I'm
yeah,
sitting at home. I'm butthurt because I can't do what I like doing,
yeah.
and you know, training safe is important. However, you do still need a little bit of realism. I'm all for getting your sparring in and hitting and getting hit so
Oh
that once you go live that you know what it feels like. There's
yeah.
nothing like going into a fight and getting hit and like saying, "Oh shit, I fucked up."
No, that's true, man. I know back in 2005, I was actually teaching here in San Antonio as a purple belt, right? And
Mhm.
one of the drills that I used to have, man, because in 2005, I was the first guy in San Antonio to have morning BJJ. Like everybody was doing it in the evening, everybody worked. And my situation was I was working at the time at the post office. I worked I worked second shift, which was like from 5 p.m. to 2 in the morning.
Mhm.
So morning times just made sense. And when I started that, I mean, I had like 30 plus students, man. Like people were like, man, I work overnight, like this is perfect. And I was like,
Oh
damn,
wow.
you know what? So I went with that. But one of the drills that I used to have was that I used to line everybody up in pairs. Okay, you know what? Everybody rear naked choke. Okay, tap or switch. I used to make everybody tap everybody out. And I said, okay, you know what? Everybody tapped everybody. Get that out the window, man. Let's go train. And it changed
Yeah.
mentalities, bro. It changed mentalities where people were like, oh crap, like yeah, because when a lot of people were going in there and they will hold guard and that's it. They didn't want to let go because they didn't want to
Mhm.
lose. And it's like, nah, man, you know what? We're here to learn. We're here to train. and it was good, man. People enjoyed it. The students that I had were like grateful, and we all had fun. And I mean, I kept doing it till it wasn't no longer fun. But my whole
Right,
situation
right.
changed, and it's just, I mean, I stepped out of there. But yeah, man. But it's just, it's true, man. I mean, you want to be able to come back the next day, or go home and enjoy the evening. You don't want to be in the ER and put other people in, make it ruin somebody else's day, for having to be there with you, man.
One of the things that I had never taken into consideration, especially when I was in the military, is getting hurt. So there's a couple of things to look at. When you get hurt in training in the civilian world, you can't go to work.
Yeah.
If you can't go to work, you don't get paid.
Right.
So, you have to be very careful with the things that you do. Not only that, but let's say you get busted up in training. Now you got to show face at work, and everyone's like, "Oh my God, what happened to you? What did you do?" And
Yeah.
then you have insurance. So what happens if you get hurt in training and you don't have any insurance? How are you going to get taken care of? And if you can't get taken care of, you can't go to work. So there's like this huge, conundrum that you're in. So you have to, again, you have to train safe, but train smart so that you can train and still go to work, still take care of the family, still,
Right.
do all the things that you want to do and need to do.
No, definitely, man. I was a letter carrier before. I think it was like 2000, maybe 2002, 2003. But and I used to always request my weekends off, man. Those are a no go because they always needed us on the weekends. People calling in, and but like the times that they would let me go out in competition, they'd be like, "Hey, man, if you get broken arm, broken whatever, we still
Yeah.
showing up Monday." And I'm like, "Yeah, I'll be here." And Monday I'd be in there
Mhm.
bruised and battered, and it's like they just look at me like, "All right, here's your route, man. Keep going, go on it."
Here's your bag. Go
Yeah.
go put them letters in the boxes.
Oh yeah, and I always did, man. I always showed up no matter what, and it's just. But yeah, you're right. If you don't have that kind of backup or that kind of insurance, especially, man. I know there's like three fighters out there right now that are posting, that injuries and trying to get the insurance to pay for the for the medical bills, and
Mhm.
bills pile up, and it's just a whole lot of mess, bro. And that's one of the things. I mean, I always tell people, no matter what happens in the fight, I hope everybody goes home healthy, because
Yeah.
it's like, dude, I would hate for somebody to go home battered, and just it's just awful, man. It's combat, so of course it happens, but
Mhm.
those fights that kind of end quick, or submission or choke or whatever, it's like, all right, cool, man, let's go. But yeah, definitely, if you're out there, you're in the fight game, make sure the insurance covers everything, man.
Yeah, it's very important. I've seen a number of injuries. I've seen friends get completely injured, and it hurts. It really hurts because one, you don't want to see someone that
Yeah.
hurt, and then I've never watched a catastrophic injury more than once or twice. I just can't bear to watch it. Um, it hurts even more when it's someone that because the next day you could see this guy, he's in surgery or something like that. So I definitely implore guys to take care of themselves and make sure that once they're done with that particular fight or training session, take a break, relax, rest, stretch,
Yeah.
drink water, and that way you can get back in the fight.
No, no, definitely, man. You see, and that's mentioning not wanting to see people hurt. I mean, of course, doing the whole media thing through TexasFighting.com. Over years, bro. Like, I've been cage side, I've been
Mhm.
mat side, ring side, and it's like it's the worst when there's a fight going on and I'm taking pictures and the guy getting battered kind of like just looks at me and I'm like, damn, I mean, contact, I'm like, I'm turning the camera over, like, dude, like it's just. But
Yeah.
it sucks, but a lot of guys fight out of it and keep going. It's just there's been fights where I'm like, man, I don't know why these people stepped in there, man. Like they just go in there and get beat up bad. That definitely.
Mhm.
I guess they wanted to try it, bucket list or whatever, but definitely people that had no business in there. But it's that situation.
Yeah, I think it's more so on the female side. Guys kind of, not saying women don't know what they're getting into, but guys know, hey, this is gonna be a fight.
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever saw that video of we'll call her a soccer mom. She
Oh
gets into
yes,
a cage.
bro. Dude,
I don't even know how to fight with sanctioned, but she
bro.
went in and just got plastered, padding someone's record, but she really didn't have any business
Oh man, you
being
see,
there at
for
all.
me, the red flag on that was the fact that she was standing. She was just kind of standing like this, like the bell rings.
Yeah,
She's still like this, and I'm thinking, bro, like that would have been like, man, throwing the towel.
yeah.
Like I
No,
was mad all around.
nobody coached her. There's no way
Oh
she was
man,
coached. I think she was just thrown in there, took some money or something, but
no,
she
yeah,
wasn't a
bro.
she
I
wasn't a
mean,
fighter.
when I first started in this, I mean, we used to go to promotions here in Texas where promoters would be like, somebody would bail out, and the promoter's like, hey man, their promoter's brother would step in and fight, and he's just like, man, I
Hmm.
don't know anything, like I'm just
Yeah.
going in there, and back in the day, I think it was XFT or Extreme Fighting.
Hmm.
God, I forgot the manager's name, but he managed like the Pat Miletich and a lot of those guys. But they were notorious for that, man. They were notorious for just getting people off the side, like, hey, you want to fight? Like you get $200, and they go in there and
Yeah.
get slaughtered, bro. And it's just and you see it because it's just like, I mean, Matt Hughes went through a bunch of them. Not saying he didn't fight tough guys, he did, but
Oh yeah, yeah.
you know, uh, Fulton. I mean, a bunch of those dudes, man, they had like 80 plus fights, and it's like, well, yeah, you're fighting nobodies, and it's just
Hmm.
it's crazy, man. But yeah, definitely, I know that's the reason why it's sanctioned. That's the reason, why we have what we have. A lot of those unsanctioned fights. You got to be careful because they have no rule, or there's no ground, there's no insurance. It's just like, dude, I mean, there's so many things can go wrong. So yeah, just definitely be careful, man.
Well, the MMA boom hit really big.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to be a fighter,
Oh
so
yeah.
you got a lot of promotions that pop up, and there's there's promotions out there that put on one event and then they go belly up. You
One
don't
of
see them
them.
anymore.
Yeah.
So you 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 got to take this business serious. Um, the fighters and the promoters and everyone else that's involved. It's not a game out there. That was one of the reasons why I finally stopped. I was like, okay, I can't be what it was, 5 years prior. I'm not that person anymore. I'm done. I gotta leave it for the younger guys and you know move on into my golden years and do that kind of stuff. But you got to take this sport seriously because you can get seriously hurt, and or worse yet, there's no telling what can happen once the cage door closes and
Yeah.
punches start flying.
Oh, definitely, man. And of course, I mean, because of that, you are retired from MMA, correct?
I would say so. Yeah, I don't have any intention of putting a pair of 4 ounce gloves on and getting into a cage anymore, unless it's training. I'm not going to be competing in an MMA cage
Or a
anymore.
movie, right? There's a movie
A
role.
movie, yeah, a movie.
There
I
you
would
go.
definitely do it. But even then, there. I mean, you look at guys like Sylvester Stallone, who's done
Yeah.
boxing movies. There's other guys who've done MMA movies, and who is it? Michael B. Jordan,
Yeah.
who did Creed. He actually got knocked out
Yeah.
during the movie, so it would look real.
Oh, yeah, it
I,
definitely
I,
did, bro.
yeah, I don't want to take that chance. So if it means that I gotta get clocked or knocked out, nah, I don't need that. Let's do some CGI or bring a stunt double in
There
and he
you
can take
go. There you
he can
go.
take it.
No, definitely, man. You see, and on that alone, I mean, have you ever considered being a stunt double?
No, man, mm-mm. I did enough putting my life on the line in the military
Oh,
already. I've been to Iraq 3 times. I don't need to do it anymore. I've already gotten paid to put my life on the line.
there
I
you
don't
go.
need to do it again.
There you go. And no, man, but of course, I mean, you mentioned earlier, as far as the movie role, man, wanting to be the bad guy. I've been venturing into a lot of indie horror films, man. Would a horror film be up your alley, man? Would you mind being a slasher? Would you mind being the bad guy like that?
You know what? At this point, I don't care what kind of movie it is, as long as it ain't porn. Then I'm good.
Oh,
I don't I don't need that in my life, but I'm willing to do anything at this point, just to
yeah,
get my
man.
foot in the door. It's because it's fun and you meet a lot of good people.
No, definitely, man. I mean, I've been venturing into the whole, horror conventions. I mean, just meeting actors, meeting, clients, managers. I mean, all sorts of people, man. And it's a good thing, man. I'm enjoying it. A lot of people I mean, I took a break from the whole fight world. I mean, I'm still dabbing in it, here and there, man. But I mean, this is something that I wanted to do before COVID. When
Yeah.
COVID happened, it kind of, I was supposed to do jump on 2 films here in San Antonio. I passed up on being an extra, like in 5 films throughout my, after high school, and it's just,
Yeah.
I regret it, man, because I'm like, damn. I'm not saying I could have been somebody, but I could have had fun, and who knows, I might have been like, yeah, I want to do this, and now
Yeah.
I do want to do this. So I've been throwing myself out there in horror films, man, just trying to see what I can make out of it. With the podcast, of course, just
Hmm.
plugging it in and doing what I can, but definitely having fun with it, bro. That's my whole goal. Have fun with it.
Yeah. You never want to. You never want to stop short on any dreams or anything that you want to take part in. I mean, I didn't have my first fight until I was 35, 36 years old. And prior to that, I don't remember what year it was, but the fight between Stephen Bonner and Forrest Griffin
Oh
they
yeah,
had on The Ultimate Fighter. So I remember watching that fight on the couch, watching Spike TV, and I'm like, man, I can't believe these guys are going at it, dude. I would love to do that. And I didn't know how to get into it. I just thought it was something you could watch on TV, and
yeah.
that was it. And when I finally became an instructor, I said, "This is my ticket in." Even if I would have only fought one time, that would have been enough. That I could have said, "Hey, I did it. I'm happy about it, and life could move on." But I got to do it quite a few times, more than I probably should have. But the fact that I was able to accomplish something that I set out to do, and it was a dream of mine. I was very happy about it. Same thing with the movie thing. I didn't know how to go about it, but when the situation presented itself,
Nice.
I took I went with it, and it was fun. So if I was never in another movie, I could at least say, hey, I was in a movie. You can go to Amazon Prime and see this one, and hopefully this next one is on Netflix. So who knows?
No, you see, and that's another thing too, because being in New York, I mean, I would imagine there's a lot of opportunities out there, man.
There are quite a few opportunities. I've gotten into so much stuff since I've been here, at least for me. So I kind of have a hard time trying to figure out which lane I'm gonna go into. I'm always scatterbrained, trying to do like 20 different things. Um, I have I just got my drone pilot's license earlier this year, so I did that. When I got here last year, I went through a cybersecurity boot camp. I got 3 cybersecurity certifications. Um, what else? I was working on my Cisco certified network associate. Right now, I'm in a coding boot camp. Like I'm constantly in shit.
I was gonna say, man,
So
that's quite a bit,
yeah,
bro.
so I can't just settle on one thing. I'm always like, shoot, move, and communicate. Get in, boom, get out, go do something else. So we'll see what sticks when it finally does.
No, no kidding. And I was gonna mention this, Brian, because on that film, of course, I mean, we talked about the second one that you were able to participate in.
Mhm.
They actually asked you to do something, man, and that was actually cut that beard. I mean, this was in this movie, right? Wasn't it? And how fast did it take to grow back out, man?
um, so I was growing my beard before for August was a year. So yeah, I grew it for 12 months. And when the director came to me months prior to that, he was like, "Hey man, I got a role for you, but you're gonna have to cut your beard." And I was like, "It is what it is, man. If I want to be in a movie, I'll get rid of it." So
Nice.
I got rid of it, and I go to work the next day, and it was like, "Oh my God, who is this young man here?" And, I had to hear that for like, the first week or so. And then everyone's like, "You need to grow the beard back." I had every intention of growing it back.
Yeah.
So um, I mean, that was a year's worth of growth. So it's going to take time. Right now I got, a little bit, but we'll see. It just takes time. So now I'm having fun not having the long beard, although that seemed to be the signature thing. Everyone really really liked it. Oh my God, this guy with the beard. That's who I was. I was the guy with the beard.
Man, you see, and for me, because even now, like I got like this white dab that I've grown, dude. Like everybody's like, man, you diet, and I'm like, dude, why the hell would I do? It's just the way it's growing
Yeah.
out, you know. And but when I started at the post office, there was this one Indian guy, and he had this nice beard, bro. Like I would always see him, and I was like, man, I was like, I'm gonna pull that off, man. And I just started growing my beard out, and I used to shave a lot because it would grow out quick. And
Yeah.
I didn't realize how I mean, dude, before I knew it, it was just like a big old. Everybody's like, damn, man, like what, where the hell are you going to, man? But I just kept growing it. This was like, shoot, man, like 2003, 2004.
Hmm.
And then of course we went through that little phase where everybody and their mother was growing their beard, and it's just
Yeah.
when that happened, I started trimming it down, and I just kept it short. I was like, I'm good.
Yeah. I think for me it was post military. I'm like, no, I don't need to shave anymore. I'm not putting a razor to my face, so I just let it go.
Yeah.
I'll say the first year, because I retired back in 2018. The first year, I was like, nope, I ain't shaving shit, and I just let it grow out. And then I think I held on to it for about a year, and then I went ahead and I shaved it, and just for a change.
Yeah.
Same thing this time. The movie role came up. However, if the movie role didn't come up, I wouldn't have shaved. I would have had a full on
Oh yeah.
beard popping out of my face. I liked it. It was cool.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, when I started rocking mine, I mean, people kind of respected me a little bit more. I was in a postal
Yeah.
uniform, but it just kind of people were like, "Oh, hey," like. So I
Hmm.
dug it, man. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna keep it, man. I enjoyed it, so I still do. Why not?
Yeah.
But
My
yeah, man, I'd be interested to see if a movie role will come up, dude. Because I mean, of course, I'd probably do the same thing. I ain't gonna lie. I'd be like, well, take it off, jump in the film.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen people do all kinds of things to their bodies for movie roles. So me shaving off a beard was nothing.
What about this, bro? What if movie role consisted of you cutting weight, man? You've been through those weight cuts, man.
Yeah, I could definitely do it.
Oh yeah.
I'm more than willing to do what I need to do physically to fulfill a movie role. I wouldn't mind, if they said, "Hey, we need you to bulk up, put on about 20 pounds, and start lifting again." Hey, it is what it is. Let's go
Right.
for it. I would bulk up for it.
No, for sure, Brandon. I mean, of course, it'd be healthy, so it's not like it's they're telling you to put on 40 pounds and then you gotta,
Yeah.
be obese and not be healthy. So that's pretty
Mhm.
cool.
I'm
But man,
definitely. I talked to a couple of people, and they're like, "Yeah, these guys who do like the physical transformations, they're like 3 months with a trainer."
yeah.
Granted, I don't think I need a trainer. All I got to do is just be consistent in the gym and lift weights.
Yeah.
It's not that hard.
No. And man, and of course, I mean, having been here in Texas, man, I mean, throw some names out. Who are some of these people you're still communicating with? I mean, of course, in Killeen, you got the Strike Kings LLC. You got a
uh,
lot of guys, man.
so I was involved with Strike Kings. That was the gym that I kind of cut my teeth with. There's Strike Kings. There's Legends BJJ in Temple. There's Strike and Submit in Killeen. Uh, who else? Uh, those were the three gyms that I went to on a consistent basis. So when one wasn't open or one wasn't doing something, go to the other guys. These guys have an open mat, and it was like this triad of training, and
Oh yeah,
there was
man.
a plethora of people to train with. So um, I always made sure to have that with the cross training and the you need bodies. You can't just train by yourself. You need bodies. So there was always willing participants, or someone will call me, "Hey man, you think you could open up the gym? Sure, come on, I'll open up the gym and we'll get after it for a while."
Nice, man. No, for sure. And of course, I mean, one of the things when it comes to grappling, I mean, are you still going to be competing?
Yes, I'm actually competing in October. Nope, December. So the World Jiu-Jitsu League had a competition that they were putting up in October in New Jersey, and I just got an email the other day. They're pushing it off until December. I think December 2nd in New Jersey.
Oh,
So I'm gonna do that, but usually around this time towards the end of the year is where it starts ramping up and I start competing more. Um, but I'm in this coding boot camp and we meet on Saturdays, so it's kind of hard. Um, but come October, that'll be the last one, and then I'll probably just try to hit up quite a few for the rest of the year. And I don't know. I think I've only competed what 2 or 3 times this year so far, which is kind of low for me.
Yeah.
Normally, I'm like 6, 7, 8 times a year I'm competing. So I'm definitely gonna try to pick up as many as I can between now and the end of the year.
No, and you saying what's the goal with that? I mean, for you, is it just to be able to keep moving and testing yourself?
Yeah, I really enjoy competition. I really enjoy getting on the mat. And for me, my logic is it doesn't make any sense for me to pay a gym membership every month
Yeah.
learning these skills and not putting them to use. I
Right.
mean, you can only roll with the guy at the gym with the red shorts and the blue rash guard, but for so many times before you know what he's going to do
Yeah.
next,
Oh
you
yeah.
know? So you got to go and compete where guys are really trying to come after you and take your head off and choke you out. You know, once you reach brown and black belt, people are coming after you. They're like, oh, because I know when I was a blue and purple belt, if I had to go up against a brown and black belt,
Oh
it's
yeah.
go time. I have nothing to lose, you know.
Exactly,
So
man.
these guys they come for you. And I've had I was in Texas. I was I think it was Grappling Industries, and it was during COVID. This guy walks up to me. Now, mind you, I had a mask on. There's no way unless you knew me, you could tell who I was. He walks up to me and he goes, "Excuse me, are you Lewis Carter?" And I turn around and I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Oh, I looked you up. You're one of my opponents today." And I'm like, I asked him, I said, "How the hell did you recognize me with a mask on?" And he starts laughing. He's like, "Well, I kind of figured out." And I was like, "Okay, man. Well, you did your due diligence to look me up." So, but I smashed him in competition. But
Yeah.
um, people will come for you and they start looking you up to see. That's why I don't post a lot of match stuff. I need to just because, but I don't post a lot of match stuff anymore because people will find you and think they got you figured out.
No, no, yeah. You see, and that's one of the things with grappling. I mean, as much as it's changed over the years. I mean, there's a lot. There's stuff popping up left and right even now, and I'm like, man, what the heck was that, man? Like, I have no idea what to call it, but it's
Oh
a lot of
yeah,
good moves and transitions, and you name it, bro.
yeah. I mean, it's the sport has definitely evolved, and I've only been involved what maybe about 10 years now, 10 years or so, and things have changed. And I know if I were to grapple myself from 10 years ago, I'd beat his ass. So he wouldn't, he wouldn't even get anything in. But it's definitely evolved into something way better than it was 10 years ago, and I look forward to see what
Nice.
it becomes 10 years from now. Hopefully I'm still able to go 10 years from now, but we'll see.
No, no, and of course, man, because you were able to actually help out with that film that you were talking about with the fight scene and everything. Would that be something you'd be interested in if somebody were to say like, hey, you know what, can you give us a few pointers on how to set something up?
Absolutely. I mean, it's just basically using the knowledge that you
Yeah,
have and showing these guys who have absolutely no idea what they're doing what they need to do. And it's just for a scene. You
right,
say, hey, I need you to put your arm here and do this and take him down, or choke him
right.
out here. And then at the end of the scene, that's it. They go on about their business. They don't care.
No, no, for sure. But yeah, but I mean, it does help because I'm sure you see a movie and you see something fight scene and you're like, what the heck?
Oh
What's
yeah.
going on there, man?
Yeah. You see a lot of stuff and you're like, come on, man, that wouldn't really happen. That guy's arm he's not choking. He doesn't have it
Oh
done
yeah.
right and all kinds of stuff.
No, no, for sure, man. But bro, of course, when it comes to movies, man, anything planned out, but for the year? I mean, are you doing anything, or is this just gonna be?
Um, no, I think I'm done for the year.
Yeah.
And next year there's another movie that's going to be filmed. I'm not at liberty to talk
Right,
about it.
right.
So, but I'm hoping that I have a pretty decent part in that, and we'll see where it goes from there.
No, and of course, man, I looked up your IMDb because, of course, you have posted about it before. For those that are interested, of course, I mean, they can punch in your name and they can find you out there as far as the two films you worked on. But when it
Yeah.
comes to anything else, right? I mean, they can look you up there.
So IMDb wise, it's funny that you say that because the director was the one who set that up. I
Yeah,
had no idea, and when he he put it up, I was like, wow, I'm on IMDb. I can't believe that, So for people to see it, it was cool. And every time I see some of my friends now, they're like, oh, Mr. Big movie star now.
but
But
yeah,
it's definitely cool to see. But that's the one that I just wrapped up is the only thing that's like concrete right
right,
now. Everything else is like we'll see. The director is an independent filmmaker, so he's able to still film, and he's able to
right,
still put out content. Whereas those who are in the union, they can't do
right.
anything. They
The
can't
strike
put
going
out
on.
anything. Yeah, they can't be in the movies. They just can't do nothing.
No, no, for sure, man, and that's why a lot of them are actually jumping on indie films because they're crowdfunded and nothing to do with big film money, man. So,
Yeah,
but
and
yeah,
when you make it as big as some of the big actors, they're not in it for the money. They're looking because they love their craft and they want to have something to do to keep busy. So that's where they're at. So independent film is nothing for them. They're like, yeah, I'll star in your movie.
yeah.
Give you some cred.
No, yeah, and that's basically what it is. I mean, of course, everybody's wanting to get paid, but I mean, it does take money to make production and
Yes.
feed everybody and treat everybody as far as making a movie, man. That's the fun part of it. And let me ask you this, man, before we wrap this up, bro. When it comes to a movie out there, I mean, say strikes over, next year they're like, hey, you know what film would pop up that you'd be interested to jump on, like big film?
Um, I can't. Maybe a drama. I
Oh yeah,
I I wouldn't mind being in a drama. Something that I could really be serious about, something that I gotta really study lines for. I haven't had a major speaking role, something where I
right,
gotta memorize like 2 or 3 paragraphs worth of stuff, like a whole monologue. But that would be interesting to have to do. Something that would be memorable, like I wouldn't mind doing a Denzel piece where someone
nice.
listens to it or they see it and they're like, wow, he really did that. And it only takes one. I only need one
Yeah.
to feel complete. I don't need to be in 20 or 30 movies.
No, no, for sure. You see, and that's something that you bring up to my attention because when it comes to you doing the boot camps, acting, are you considering taking any acting courses?
Um, I've considered it. I just don't have the bandwidth for it right now. I got so much shit going on. If I threw in another class, man, I'd probably fall apart.
Yeah, man. Well, of course. Anything else going on, bro? I mean, tell us before we wrap this up. I mean, is there anything personal that you're trying to accomplish before the end of the year?
Um, I'm just gonna compete in jujitsu. I'm just gonna continue to compete and see where the end of the year finalizes itself because I don't have any idea. I could do one more competition. I could do 5 or 6. It
Right.
just I won't know until January 1st.
Nice, man.
January 1st, I'll say, okay, I finished the year off strong. I did it.
No, no, for sure, man. And of course, man. I mean, we're gonna wrap this up, man. But I definitely would love to bring you back on here. Catch up, see what's new. But don't hang up yet. Of course, everybody out there, of course, this is sPidA, the Coming Soon podcast with Luis, the Great Dane Carter. Till next time, follow up.
All right.